What?
And it did.
We're talking about Black Sheep?
Black Sheep now,
Let's
yeah.
talk about Wild West for a minute.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, what happened to Wild West, for those of you that like the show, I didn't like it, I loved it, was it was canceled for TV violence by women against violence on television.
And still at the top of the ratings.
Well, now it's on at 4 o'clock on some station.
MeTV!
What was that again?
MeTV!
MeTV! That's right. It's on MeTV, and it is #1 syndicated radio television show, which thrills me. I've watched it several times. My former driver, Tim Kelly is his name, lives in a mobile facility and waiting for the house to get built. I've spent some time staying at his home in his trailer, and he watches the show and he showed it to me. That's the first time I got an opportunity to see it after all the years, and I'm like, God damn, it's a good show.
Fantastic. It holds up. It holds up brilliantly. In the 80s, it was #1 in Australia. They were playing it in prime time.
Well,
in
it's
the
#1 in
1980s.
France now. France is just unbelievable to me, and I can't thank those French people enough. Well, I will. In July when I go back, just to thank them. But what we do now is we go to the Black Sheep Squadron, where you're going, which got canceled, for Women Against Violence on television. So I'd like to get around those bitches and slap them. As much as Pappy wanted it, you know, he was there every day. He sat in the trailer, and I supplied the vodka, and and it was a wonderful experience for me. He was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. He was incarcerated in prison in Japan and shot down, and we became not good friends, but sort of best friends. And he was playing a golf tournament up north in Northern California, and I became a pilot. I bought my own airplane, and I would fly in the second season to work, and all the cast would go, look at that son of a bitch, he's flying in. That's right. And in any event, so Colonel Boynton said, I'd like to fly it up there. And I said, oh, okay, Colonel, I mean, he's in his 80s, nobody can say no. Congressional Medal of Honor awardee. And we're flying, and all of a sudden it's time to land, and we call, and the tower says, all right, gives us the instructions. And I see we're not following those instructions. And we hit a fence. Oh. Conrad, come up to the tower. So I said, all right. So I took Colonel Boynton. We went up to the tower, and I said, this guy was flying. I said, oh my God, Colonel, how are you doing? I said, forget about it, Bob, everything's okay. Since, forget about that. I met Larry Manetti. He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
And,
Well, let me tell the
no,
story.
wait a minute. I get a phone call from Chicago, and the guy says, you know, he's one of us. I said, he's one of us, all right. So I go to this great restaurant. I can't remember the name of it, but it's where all the celebrities went back in the day, and went with Larry, and we chatted. So I get an opportunity to do a picture in the Philippines, and I want to put him in the picture. And the guy who ran it, then he passed away. You know the guy?
John Ashley?
No, not John. What was the name of the producer?
Romero?
No, the guy from Texas.
Oh, Cruzberg.
Yeah, Cruzberg. So I went up to Cruz and I said, yeah, you got to put him in this part. He said, no, I can't. I said, what do you mean you can't? I said, yeah, I can. He's not in the Screen Actors Guild. Nothing. I can't do it. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll pay him from my per diem, which per diem is what they give you in the show business to buy your lunches and kind of live outside of your salary. So he said, well, if you want to do that, it's okay with me. So Larry comes over and he's doing a wonderful job in the show. And one night I go up to visit my daughters. I hear kind of a noise. I go, what the hell is that noise? I said, pull those drapes. And sitting in a goddamn tree is Larry Manetti. All right, tell your story now. We got.
So I'm in the treehouse with his daughter Joan, unbeknownst to him, but it wasn't like I had set up a relationship with his daughter. There was nowhere for me to sleep, and we were in the middle of a jungle with panthers and monkeys walking around. And here I am in this treehouse, and I said, Duke, yo, Duke. And he's looking around, I see a light, and I say, it's me. He says, Manetti, what are you doing in the, what's she doing there? I said, I'm gonna get killed. And the only way down was on these little steps. And I tried to make it, and I did, but luckily, he didn't brain me, but he looked at Joan and she says, Dad, go back to bed.
You hang out with this guy from Chicago, I'm sure.
I don't
We
like
got
that.
into a great war. We got into one of the great wars at that, what was the name of that?
The candy store.
The candy store. It was a very in place. If you were an actor, you just wanted to go to the candy store. So Lawrence and I are in the candy store. And Lawrence teaches Honey. Yes. And he invites her to dance, and they're out there dancing. It was an L-shaped bar. And next to me is this big, muscular black guy. And over here in the center is some kind of overweight Italians that I didn't know were from Chicago at that time. I found out later. So anyway, they're there. And Larry comes back, and the guy says, what are you doing? Don't do that again. Don't ask her to dance. Now, her husband had just died. And it was a good thing, therapeutic, for her to have some companionship. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, wait a minute, back off. If he wants to dance with her, it's up to her to say no. And the black guy says, hey, don't talk to him like that. I said, who are you? He says, I'm with him. I said, oh, that's interesting. Bang! He goes down like he's on an elevator, right? And the next thing I know, I'm on the floor. And I'm getting booted, kicking. And he lies on top of me to stop him from getting booted. And so I start kicking the shit out of him.